What happens after you win a historic 8 gold medals in a single Olympic Games? Only one person in the world can answer that question, Michael Phelps. Since Beijing, Phelps has enjoyed his longest break from training ever. He's on a victory lap of sorts, touring the country, building the Michael Phelps brand. He let us tag along with him and gave us his most extensive interview since the Olympics. Tonight we'll show you how he won in Beijing, how he almost didn't, and what life is now like for an unassuming 23-year-old swimmer who's also the greatest Olympic athlete ever. The red carpet at MTV's Video Music Awards in Hollywood. The loudest screams were not for a rapper or a rocker or even the usual suspects. They were for Michael Phelps, a guy who can barely carry a tune.
This is cool.
The next day, an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Then a red-eye flight to New York, where he helped open the stock exchange the next morning. But Phelps was starting to show the wear and tear of a tour that had taken him from Beijing to Portugal to San Francisco, among other stops. By mid-September, he'd not been home for 3 months. We caught up with him in New York between a commercial shoot and a rehearsal for Saturday Night Live. Do you worry that you're doing too much?
No, because I'm having fun. You know, it's like, excuse me, you know, after I think,
I'm trying not to take your yawning personally.
no,
How quickly could you fall asleep right now?
within seconds.
Really?
Literally, probably within a minute, I could be out cold.
And sure enough,
it took you 50 seconds to fall asleep. We actually timed it.
I was exhausted that day.
Are there moments when you're like, this is just nuts?
There have been a few times where I've been like, wow, this is, you know, more than I expected or more than I thought would happen.
what's happening is a just reward for a guy who's been training non-stop since age 11. His teenage years were spent like this, swimming lap after lap, thousands of hours staring at a black line on the bottom of a pool. Bob Bowman is his coach.
For about 5 years, he did not take one day off.
Christmas Day?
Nope, we trained on Christmas.
His birthday?
Oh yeah, that's a given. Twice on his birthday.
How do you do that every day?
To be honest, it's not wanting to lose, wanting to do something that no one else had ever done before. That's what got me out of bed every day.
The workouts were so intense, Bowman became known as the mad scientist.
What were some of the toughest workouts?
10,000 meters for time.
Just 10,000 meters all out?
Yeah, ready to go. And that takes about 2.5 hours.
Full out
Yeah,
racing?
just swim as hard as you can for 2.5 hours.
Like, horrible, horrible workouts. You know, when you see them on paper, you're like, I can't do this. He makes us do it so we're more confident and we know that we can do anything that we put our mind to.
Payoff came at the 2004 Athens Olympics. Phelps won 6 gold medals, an extraordinary achievement, but he just missed Mark Spitz's record of 7 golds. Then came Beijing, and a chance to make history. To win 8 golds, Phelps needed to swim 17 times in 9 days. So many things could go wrong in Beijing, and they did. In the 200-meter butterfly final, his goggles filled with water virtually from the start.
They started filling up more and more and more, and about 75 meters left in the race, I could see nothing. I couldn't see the black line. I couldn't see the T. I was purely going by stroke count. And I couldn't take my goggles off because they were underneath 2 swim caps.
Somehow, he not only won his 4th gold medal at the Games, he also set a world record. But after winning his 6th gold, 1 short of Spitz's record, Phelps now admits for the first time he was whipped.
I remember saying, I got nothing left.
I could just see it in his face. If you look at the pictures right after the race and he was in the water, I thought, wow, he is really tired.
Phelps could be in major trouble, you know.
Then came the 100-meter butterfly final, the race everyone remembers. With little left in his tank and a historic 7th gold medal on the line, Phelps was behind Serbia's Milorad Kavic with just 35 meters to go.
I was like, please get your hand on the wall first. Please get your hand on the wall first.
Phelps needs to get by Kavic.
I remember like the last 2 or 3 strokes that I had misjudged the finish. I thought that was the race.
He gets it done again!
I saw I had won and turned around, looked at the board, and saw it was by 1/100th.
1/100th of a second!
And that's where the emotion came out. That's where, the big splash of the water, like the big roar. I mean, you could tell that I was pretty intense after that race.
A photo finish, if ever there was one. That's Phelps on the left, Kavich on the right. Looking at these photos, Phelps noticed something.
What's going on there?
As you see here, he's picking his head up before he's finishing. So it's acting as like a speed bump. So he's coming up and then trying to lift his head up before he touches the wall. And now mine's in a straight streamline. So that's the difference of the race. If his head's down there, he wins. Hands down wins the race.
A tilt of the head helped Michael Phelps become an Olympic legend.